right, welcome back everyone. I'm here today joined by some inspiring alumni from the multiple higher educations in Turku. There's 6 and we have 4 representatives here today. We have Giancarlo Méndez Agreda and Shujun Liang, Saima Riaz, and Filipe Lopes. So welcome everyone. First of all, let's do a quick introduction of what you're doing now, what you studied before, and when you came to Finland. Maybe we can start from Giancarlo.
Oh. Thank you very much. Well, my name is Giancarlo Méndez Agreda. As you already said, I am in this very moment a formulation scientist in a drug development company in Finland called DelSiTech, where we develop a silica platform for drug delivery. And at the same time, I am doing something called industrial PhD. Okay. At the University of Turku in the Faculty of Sciences and in Physics.
Oh wow, okay, a little bit of difference, all right. Shujun?
So, hello everyone, my name is Shujun Liang from Akademi University, and currently I'm a PhD researcher in the Pharmaceutical Science Lab, but I would like to make a quick note. Even though I am in the Pharmaceutical Science Lab, but my major was not related with some drugs.
Oh.
My research topic is more related to the biomaterials that derive from the natural materials from the wood. You know, in Finland, it's really rich in wood resources.
Cool. Saima.
Hi, my name is Saima, and I'm a student of Novia University of Applied Sciences, and I did my master's from there in service design and leadership. I worked with the city of Espoo for the last year, and at the moment my contract is finished, but I'm looking for new job opportunities, and yeah, that's about me.
Thank you very much. Filipe?
Well, hello everyone, and those watching back at home, my name is Filipe. I'm originally from Portugal. And I came to Finland when I was 19 years old and to pursue a Bachelor of Engineering in ICT with a major in game technologies. So a lot has happened, and eventually I landed a job at Rovio, where I'm currently working as a junior developer.
Great. I love the diversity of fields we have here, and let's get into that. But a little bit of how long have you guys been in Finland, just to get an estimate? So I think Giancarlo.
I have been here for 7 years and 3 months, more or less.
Okay, all right. Quite a while. Shujun?
Yeah.
If I came here already 4 years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I've been here for 10 years or so, yeah.
Well,
That's a lot.
well, I've been here 5.5 years. So.
Wow, so we have quite veterans. I myself have only been here for about 2.5 years, so I would like to learn a lot more of how to survive living in Finland and integrating here. So my first question, I think, is for Giancarlo. I'm really interested in what an industrial PhD is, and how exactly has your company been supportive of that or involved?
Well, basically, an industrial PhD is like you perform your research inside of a company. Mm-hmm. And what in my case does is that the company provides me basically all the equipment that I need, all the resources, if I need to request some kind of test, even outside of the company, the company figures it out how to provide me that resource. But at the same time, I am under the supervision of the university and under the supervision in this moment by the dean of the Faculty of Physics.
Wow, okay.
Yes, Professor Jarno Salonen. Well, it is like that kind of hybrid that I am still doing things at the academia, but at the same time I'm doing a job for the company where I'm working for.
Okay, and you're still doing a job as a formula scientist for DelSiTech?
Yeah. Oh yes. Sure,
Okay, so
yeah.
basically 3 jobs in one.
Yeah. So basically, what I do is like the first thing on the top of my priorities.
Okay.
It is to do the projects that the company has.
Okay, yes.
And then, when I have time and when I can squeeze a little bit of that, I am doing my own research.
Okay, wow, that's a lot to unpack, but I think not unfamiliar with people here. A lot of us as internationals work alongside our studies. So let's dive a little bit into that after my question from Shujun. So I think you came here initially to do your master's, correct?
No, bachelor.
Oh, bachelor's, sorry. And then you went, can you tell us a little bit more about your journey after your bachelor's before you did the PhD?
It's just go to
Directly.
the university
Okay, so
for the master's study.
Okay, cool. So what made you decide to stay in academia?
That's a good question. I actually asked myself many times before I made this decision because, that is a quite difficult decision. It would influence you at least 4 years.
Yeah, it's a big commitment.
You must know that.
I know myself, yeah.
And actually, I made the final decision because of 3 person, I can say that. The first one is my master thesis main supervisor, Andre. And when I was a master thesis worker, I obtained the topic from the company. And actually, I have no idea how to perform it well. And Andre, he guided me from how to design the experiment and to how to perform the experiment. When the thesis writing was finished, I was like, wow, that is amazing. We finished it, and we completed as a whole story just with the topic and also the raw material, of course, from the company. Actually, I found my passions during that time.
Okay.
And then the second one is my mentor, Daniel, that we met in the mentorship program that held by Akademi University, and the directors are also here today. And Daniel is also a PhD from Akademi University. He graduated, of course, and we talk lots of working life and also the culture and also study many things. And suddenly I just asked him that, hey, Daniel, do you think I could also be a PhD?
Okay.
And he gave me lots of suggestions and encouragement. Seriously, then I found my confidence to fill in the application. And then the third one is my current supervisor, Xiaoju. She offered me this opportunity to become a PhD researcher, of course, and she encouraged me to jump over my comfortable zone. But my background is not pharmaceutical, but now I'm in the biomaterial field. That she encouraged a lot about that, and she's always filled of brilliant ideas in the scientific field, and also keeps telling me, even though it's just small step or small discovery, it still make contribution in the science field. So all I want to say is that academics are so attractive. It's not just pass on the knowledge, it's also pass on their life attitudes to you. Then it makes me learn a lot. So that's why
I relate to that, actually. I have quite a few mentor people as well in my circle that kind of encouraged me also to actually go do a PhD, but that's... So Saima, so you've been in Finland for quite some time now, and I believe you came also, you have your family here. So did you come to Finland with your family?
Yes, I did. I came here with my husband and my 1 kid, and then I had my 2nd kid here.
Okay.
And that's the reason I got to do my master's in 2019, because I was kind of sorting life in between.
Yeah, yes.
But it was such a wonderful experience in this sense that the kids, they get really taken care of here.
Yeah.
Because my kid was struggling with the language here. He goes to a Finnish school, and because we decided that we're going to stay here, and putting him in English school was of no point. So he got the language support for that, for his deficiency, like shortcomings in Finnish language, and yes, it's been.
Okay, well, that's really interesting because we have a couple of families here in the audience, so I guess we would want to know more. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we can ask them to Saima. But I did have a question. So it seems like the Finnish society has been very supportive of your child, but did you face any challenges when trying to bring your family in the first place? I think immigration is usually the part where it's a bit hard to do.
Immigration was not really a problem because my husband was a student.
Okay.
Like he got a study visa, and we, all of us, we just migrated here, and then he got, because he's in IT, he got a job pretty soon while he was studying, so that was not really an issue.
Okay, well, that's glad. I'm glad to hear. Now, Filipe. You're in the gaming industry. That's a really cool industry and also quite complicated. So you did your bachelor's here and basically most of your higher education also here. So as someone who basically spent most of their adult life in Finland, what's the kind of most standout experience that you've had as an international, at least in Finland?
Well, one thing that immediately pops out of this is that when I arrived to Finland, I was extremely shy.
Okay.
And Turku, at least here, it's a city where you will develop a new personality and you develop a new way of seeing life overall.
Yeah.
And I believe that probably is the best possible thing as an international student or someone planning to come to Finland is you will have to eventually socialize. You have talk to people and develop a new friendship as well. So that's a great thing as an international.
Okay. Well, as when you moved to Finland, I think this is maybe a question that everyone can relate to. What made you decide to stay here after you moved?
Maybe just too lazy to move to other place.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Comfort, anyone else?
Yes, the laid-back lifestyle, work-life balance was what made us stay.
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
Also the amazing sauna culture. I love it.
Great. Anybody else in the audience like sauna? Can you give me a hand raise? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan myself, but it's nice. Okay, well, talking about that then, back to Giancarlo. So, since you're wearing so many hats at the same time and juggling so many things, how do you find the time to actually be able to focus on all of those different things?
Well, you need to start to organizing your priorities, and also there are some tools that it will help you to schedule what are you going to do during the week, and also that you need to be very careful not to pursue overloading so much, because like academy and work, it is not all your life. You also need to balance with other stuff. For example, like let's call it extracurricular activities that you can join. One of the amazing things that I found here in Finland, it is like, and especially in the city of Turku, it is that there are many groups where you can go in order to socialize, such as, for example, if you're a nerd like me, you can go for the video game club. There are also these board game clubs, and if you play an instrument, also you can join one of the student bands. I actually play in a student orchestra called Axel Bandet that it's from Akademi.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So prioritizing. I think I can speak maybe for a majority of the people here. As an immigrant, you kind of have the sense that you have to be a little bit more competitive in order to stand out. Do you have any tips in your specific fields? What makes yourself appealing towards employees, for example? What have you done or what have you focused on to actually make yourself stand out of all the applicants? Because of course, as immigrants, maybe companies are a little reluctant to hire, or it's uncomfortable for them. So of course you have to also be maybe the best of the best. So what in your respective fields have you found is a valuable skill or resource to have? Maybe we can start from Filipe.
Right. So in IT, at least, it's very competitive. I mean, anyone that's in this field knows that it's extremely hard to get a job. But one thing that I feel like a lot of people lack in this field is lack of projects.
Okay.
This is a very project-intensive field. And it's important to ask yourself, if you're trying to look for a job, why would I get hired for a position in my field? Can I actually do this? Do I have the experience to do this?
Okay.
Because there are situations where even right now that I have some problems that I solve, for example. And I would look at myself 2 years ago and I would say, I will never be able to solve this.
Okay.
And it's due to many projects and a lot of experience that I ended up eventually to be able to find a job at least. It's because I had a lot of projects in my portfolio. At least in IT, you could always show your code in source control, GitHub. That's very good, actually. You should do that. Try to put your code out there as much as you can so people can look at it.
Okay, we'll come back to actually how to get that experience, because I think you've done a lot of things also when you were studying. But Saima, in your field specifically, maybe you can explain to the audience what you've done to actually stand out, because you've worked for the city of Espoo before, and I think working for a city is a very valuable experience and also a great opportunity. So maybe you can tell us how you landed that job.
Yeah, it's first is like reaching out. We all know that Finns are very shy, and we kind of close up as well after a while. So, but reaching out is very important. When you reach out, when you call people, because how I landed my job was that I was calling my coordinator that, okay, I can do this on voluntarily basis, and I can work as a volunteer internee at your workplace. And they were like, okay. And they discussed it, and they hired, they got me on board. And then obviously after seeing my work ethics and the work I delivered, they recommended me to this job opening that was there in the company, and that's how I landed my job.
Okay, yes. Fun fact for everyone, 70% of jobs in Finland are hidden jobs. So I think trying to get those connections is the first and most hardest thing to do, but at least in my experience, getting your foot in the door tends to lead to opportunities. But Shujun, how about you? What are the skills do you think made you stand out, and so that your professor actually offered you this opportunity?
I think because I'm working hard.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because my master's study is during the pandemic time, and I didn't have that much a chance to join in the lab work. So when I obtained the topics from the company, I was actually really nervous. But so I need to input lots of time to make myself did it better. So that's, I think, one is the important part. If you don't know, you have to input your time working hard to make yourself better.
Okay, great tip. Giancarlo?
I guess that in my case it was basically that I show that I am in the same way as you did, that I show that I was hardworking. Like in Finnish, that word is like ahkera.
Okay.
So it is that was the first thing. And the second thing is like to be proactive. Mm-hmm. And the third thing, and this can go to anyone. You need to be very prone to learn.
Okay.
You don't need to be like an expert or have a huge expertise on a determined field to show off that you will deserve that job opportunity. It's because each company has their own processes, and each company has their own ways of breaking the nuts. But the thing is, like, if you show that you can learn and you have that willing to learn, and you show also that passion to do the job, then I guess that people will start to appreciate that and will see you that you can be good or a part of the engine that the company needs.
Okay, so would it help, for example, if you looked into the company and seeing what they're missing? Or how do you suggest actually doing that?
Of course, and in the very first instance, like you need to know what the company does.
Yes, yes.
You need to get to gather that information, and also, well, in my field, that is like this drug developing sciences. You check like what the company does, what are the publications that the company has, and you start to have like an idea. Oh, okay. They do this, they are managing this kind of techniques, and also you need, well, if you have the background for applying, that would be perfect, but if not, then you will put yourself as a purpose in order to learn the techniques, types of analysis, etc.
Okay, so that's really field specific and something that you maybe need to dig a little bit more. Maybe if you have mentors that could also help you bridge the gap between what's needed in your industry and what you may have. But Saima actually wanted to go back into working for the city of Espoo. So could you explain a little bit more exactly what you did for them?
Yes, I started off as a service designer with COSCE. COSCE is a program that City of Espoo offers. It's for highly educated immigrants who are looking for a job in Finnish market, and I did the service design for them, did the research for what the pain points are, or what can be improved in the service, and where the gaps can be closed. And then I got the job for coordinator and service designer for the City of Espoo's mayor's office. Mm-hmm. And there I was doing coordination of international visits and events, but I was also doing service design for technical visits to Espoo. So,
okay, cool. I know this may have been a while that you did the research for immigrant services for highly educated immigrants, but I think a lot of us can also relate to the jobs that we're getting often are not related to what we're actually studying, the jobs that we need to survive in Finland. So out of your research, do you have any insight into what maybe the city is doing to actually support highly educated immigrants to get a job relevant to them?
Yes, it's actually about, it's not about, taking your individual dream or your individual goal from you, that, okay, if somebody wants to do a certain thing, they won't take it away from you. But it's always good to be open to other positions while you are on the job search. Yeah. But what I find very valuable is that when you change your mindset, that's when you totally change the game. Like, for example, today, all the people that are here, your mindset is changed. You're not here to look for a job. You're here because Turku is looking for people to study and stay in Turku. So it's the roles are reversed already. So when you change that mindset, your applications, your cover letter, I think your attitude, it becomes so positive that it is a total game changer in my opinion.
That's an interesting take. So trying to convey the fact that I really want to stay here will actually maybe help you get a job. That's interesting. And by the way, anyone, if you have any comments, feel free to jump in. This is just like an open discussion. If you want to answer a question that I've said previously, please feel free. Do you have any comments now on this?
I was about to mention, especially for those who are like looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Try also to advertise yourself that you can make this modality that is called työkokeilu, that it is like a work trial. That is a work trial. In that sense, the company can pay you part of a salary, but also the employee's office also pays, or the Kela pays also the other part. Okay. It's not actually a big salary, but it is the perfect opportunity for you to show to the company what you can do for the company, and also if it's actually the kind of work that you are willing to do or you are able to do. Because, for example, in my case, I will not apply for rocket science, for example. No, I mean, like, and also in that sense, it's much more likely that the company will know you better, and if let's say, like, if it's not successful, at least you will receive some recommendation letter.
And also
so
some
you will
networking.
not start from you will not start from zero in the next time that you are looking for a job opportunity.
Okay, and I think that opportunity, well, you said it's from Kela, but for those of you, to my knowledge, in the University of Turku and also Åbo Akademi, you can get an internship subsidy. Basically, send an open letter to the companies being like, hey, I want to work with you, and they can also provide a 3-month salary, at least from the University of Turku. That's what I know, and also Åbo Akademi. So that's a good opportunity to try to get your foot in the door. Filipe, we have a question from the audience here. So you're in the gaming industry in Finland. How did you break into that industry, and what challenges did you face before getting your first job?
That's actually a very good question. Well, it's important to think about, first of all, that this industry, again, is very difficult, but to put your foot in the door in the industry, in my opinion, you generally have 2 ways. Either you get a really good internship, or you do a project that is generally something amazing. So when I was studying, I could not find an internship. That was something that I couldn't find.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get my credits. I mean, I was offered a few things, but they were not good. I know that if I went to do them, I would not live anywhere. So I thought outside the box.
Okay.
What I did is I went through this project, which is the startup journey, to learn more about business and learn more about how these things work. And from there, I decided to create my own company.
Yeah.
So I started my company, and that gave me a purpose to focus all my abilities into one game. And I believe that during the year that I was with my company, I believe that that's where I put my foot in the door, because the amount of experience, the amount of coding that I did was what led me to have something that I could show to people that were trying to hire me.
Okay.
I believe that was the most important thing, that I thought outside the box, and I didn't blame anything else. I decided to do something about it. So that gives a lot of points, especially if you are a little bit lost and you don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Which can happen a lot of times.
Yeah, yes.
I would probably recommend you to do a project and if you can't do a big project, start small, then build up until you are able to do something bigger and then show that.
Okay, interesting. So if I remember correctly, you did kind of this startup journey also with the help, not the help, but maybe guidance of Boost Turku, right?
Yeah, it was startup journey boost.
Okay, and then do you also, this whole company project of yours you were also able to get credits as well?
That's correct.
Okay.
And they gave me 15 credits for that.
Wow, okay.
My university, so
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it was
really
kind of nice incentive.
Yeah, kind of a big part of a dissertation as well. But yeah, but what made you kind of gave you that boost and that confidence to actually start a company? It's very scary for a lot of people and maybe not sustainable in the long run. So if that is maybe the only way you can think outside of the box, what would you suggest to really kind of question yourself first before you do this step?
Well, it's very difficult to create a company, obviously. There's a lot of things go behind it. You need a roadmap, you need a plan, you need really nice project. But what really helps is having a team. And that's, in my opinion, where I believe Turku shines. This is a city of opportunity and a city of networking. There's a lot of international students. There's a lot of people here. So if you meet the right people, in my situation, game jams in here, then you have the confidence to actually create something bigger because you're not alone. You'll meet the people, you'll, of course, get to be with them, and then you'll start project with them.
Yeah.
And I believe that at least was what gave me the boost to to actually, start this company.
Okay.
I created the company with a colleague of mine
Yeah.
that I met during university. But during Boost, however, I met another team in a game jam, and that's where I went there.
Okay, so sometimes it's hard to get networks with Finnish people, and often internationals hang out with internationals. But a question for all of you, how did you get local connections outside of the international bubble? Anyone?
Well, as I already mentioned, like you start open your mouth and then you
So you have to start the
you have to
conversation
start
first.
the conversation.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, like there are a lot of extracurricular or activities that are not only related to the academy or to the work. I mean, like there are groups of choirs here.
Yeah.
There are groups for sports, for sports here, for dancing clubs. Groups also for board games, bands. Like you just only need to be very open to the media and try to check where you can fit. And once I am at least from my experience, people were very willing to accept me in those groups, especially on my band. On my band. Yeah, and. Well, they were quite willing to get internationals, and even though that at the very beginning it was quite difficult to me to speak the language, even nowadays it's still the same. But that helped me to integrate and also to meet other people and to have like the connections to also to other people, and not only for like taking this kind of like a networking, but also for doing other extra activities, such as, for example, if you want to hang out or want to go for the movies or having other extra activities. So then you connect in that sense with the locals.
Okay. Anybody else have any tips?
If you're trying to build your professional network, LinkedIn is a very good portal to do that. And showing up to events such as the one today.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my example. I'm a service designer. I'm one of the members of the service design group in Turku. And we have different hangouts and we have different events in there. We have specialists from the industry. And after the event, we get a chance to exchange our LinkedIns. And when you add someone on LinkedIn, don't just add them. Just leave a note with that where you found them. And networking is a slow process. It happens over time, and you post what you're interested in. You might just someday hit off with one of the colleagues or networks on your LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point, because I think a lot of people here have heard that you need to network and network and network, which is, I'm still networking with a lot of people, and I think it's also really hard to branch out to other people outside of your own bubble. Maybe, Shujun, did you have anything you wanted to say about networking and outside of the international bubble?
Well, if talking to get to the local connection, when I was new in Finland, I like to go different kind of parties, and that is a really good way. But finally, I found out I'm not a party person. Then when I started working in the university, I found during the coffee break, you talk with your colleagues. That is a really good way to know about their culture and also activities they are really happy to share. And the third one is based on my observation, for those who have families, especially have children. Actually, it's quite easy to get more local connection because your children would participate many activities, and you would also get into that, I think. I just based on my observation, maybe it was not correct.
Yeah, it was not correct.
Because
Didn't happen to me. Yeah.
because my friends, if
Yes.
they have
Yes, no, that's right. That's
have
true.
children, then
That's
they just get more connection
Yeah.
and more activities. They
Do
just
play
spend the
dates
time. Yes.
with the parents.
yeah, different
okay.
club and different activities, something they would also participate in.
Cool. Okay. Filipe, any tips?
Well, to meet more locally, outside of international, it's a little bit difficult. I won't lie.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Finnish people are lovely. They are very lovely people, but it's very difficult to integrate in a group where you don't speak Finnish. And of course, you can have a couple of Finnish friends speaking English, but most of their environment and groups are Finnish people.
Yep.
And they will switch English for you, because again, they are very
They're
kind.
very kind. Yes.
But with some minutes after, they will switch back to Finnish, and then you will feel a little bit excluded. I would like to add on here is that do learn Finnish and don't be afraid to take risks. Use your Finnish to people. They appreciate it, and you probably can start from there.
Yeah, so speaking of the Finnish language, I think often people come here, of course, not being able to speak Finnish first, and people already come here, they're studying, and it's really hard to find a time to actually sit down and learn a language. It's hard to learn your own subject, let alone a language on top of that. So there's a really nice question from the audience here. I don't know, can you raise hands how many of you actually speak Finnish fluently? Ish.
Can I?
Conversational.
Mä voin.
Or from here, from the panelists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, Filipe, you also speak.
I do
Quite
understand.
Finnish, yeah.
Do understand a
All
good
right.
percentage.
But then, before you were able to speak Finnish, did you experience any difficulties in finding a job? And were the companies, how did they react to applicants that maybe didn't have such fluent Finnish skills?
Well, I must, at least in my experience, it was like a big change, because first I presented my CV in the way how I am used to present it in Latin America.
Okay, yeah.
But here in Europe, and specifically in Finland, it has another kind of much more simpler and much more precise type of format. But even though that I did that when I used to apply for a job with my English CV, it was a little bit challenging. But again, thanks to the services of the TE-toimisto, of the job office, they modified a little bit more my CV, and they made a Finnish version of my CV.
Okay.
And even they took me a picture as well to put it to put in my CV. And after I started sending the Finnish CV, I started to receive at least 15 calls.
Wow.
And I went to 5 interviews after that. And I'm very glad in such a sense that I landed on DelSiTech, because the DelSiTech is a company where we have like a quite friendly environment for internationals. We have like workers from Cameroon, China, some from Middle East, and other cities among Europe. A Peruvian Latino here, and yeah, I mean, as I said, like meanwhile you can show that you have like this willing to learn and this willing to work and do your part and show that you are hardworking. I guess that will be the key to get into the company.
Okay, but follow-up question to that, actually, since you sent your CV in Finnish, when you were invited to the interview, were the interviewees surprised that you didn't speak Finnish? How did you handle that?
No, it was interesting, because when I received like the reply, I put like a nota bene that it's like just in case my Finnish is not fluent yet.
Okay.
Just in case.
All
But
right.
anyway,
Okay.
but
at
anyway, they
least you
took
got
me.
calls and you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
engagement. Exactly. So that's a good point. I think every city here has a toimisto office that maybe you can help go to. I think a lot of the universities also have their own recru, which have CV clinics. That can help you tailor your CV to more suitable to Finnish industry, and maybe you can even ask a friend to help you translate it to Finnish and send out CVs. But that's a good tip actually. But how about everyone else's experience? How did not having a Finnish capability, a Finnish language skills hinder you in your job applications, or how did you actually overcome that?
With me, with my last job with Espoo City, the job ad actually said that Finnish level B is required.
Okay,
And,
yep.
I'm hardly A1.1. And but again, networking.
Yeah.
And I called and I talked to the supervisor and I said that I don't know much Finnish, but I am learning every day. And my interview, one person was speaking Finnish and one was speaking English. I
Okay.
hardly got Finnish, but if somebody's actually inclusive and they want you, they would hire you anyways. And I did most of the work in Finnish, like I analyzed data in Finnish. I don't know Finnish, I translated it, and
Okay.
meetings were in Finnish. That was
Yeah.
a challenge, but I was able to swim through it. And the other thing that I recently got an interview from If Insurance, they said they would prefer Finnish language with English language. So I called and asked if I can still apply, and I got an interview with them. So it's always good to call and don't be afraid. I used to not apply to the places that said Finnish is also required, but now
Yeah.
I apply to those places
You
as
apply
well.
anyway. Okay. Filipe?
Well, would you like to say something?
I don't have anything to say because my working language is
English in academia, yeah. We get it a little bit easier in academia, at least,
Yeah.
that a lot of the professors are very kind enough to actually speak in English. But
So, in my field, which is IT, it's generally you will only really need kiitos, equity, and
okay.
no need. That's pretty much it.
Nonin will carry you throughout the whole conversation. That's true.
Generally
Nonin,
speaking.
totta.
Totta kai.
Yeah.
It's a very, it's in my experience, a very English sort of field. For example, where I'm currently working in Rovio, it's very inclusive, very diverse. So you got all kinds of people, and a lot of them don't speak Finnish. It's just the way that my field is.
Okay, all right. So a bit luckier if you're in the IT. All right, Giancarlo, I have a little bit more field-specific question for you. So we know that Turku produces the majority of novel drugs in Finland. Turku is very well known to be great at drug discovery and development. So being in such a highly established field, how I think I already asked before, how did you stand out? But specifically for the pharmaceutical industry, how did you break into it?
Well, actually, I came from a background in my home country for working in pharmaceutical industry.
Okay.
Actually my majors from Peru, it is that I have a double degree, one in pharmacy and another in biochemistry.
Yeah.
Instead of studying 3-4 years, I studied 6.
Yeah.
And it was like I wanted to study also chemical engineering, but my parents told me like, hey, you need to go to work. Don't spend all your life into the academy. But yeah, so I gather already some knowledge into the field. But you know, like there is like one point in your life where you check like, yeah, I'm going to dedicate myself into the R&D in the pharmaceutical industry, but I would like to go for studying new things or to go for a little bit farther. And then you see like you already have like some kind of roof. And in order to break that roof, you need to go outside and study new type of technology. And that's why that was my main motivation to come to Finland. Nowadays, I am working in this also in the same type as materials, but what I'm doing is like drug developing with silica technology. And at least from my part, I'm very happy that I am putting a little bit of effort into writing this chapter into the drug development that is related to the silica technology.
Okay, so it's very specific and niche kind of field.
Yeah.
And okay, so trying to find that niche maybe within your specific fields might help you stand out.
Yeah, because well, in Peru, I passed for quality assurance. I also work in quality control, and I ended up my field in research and development. Then I came here to study at the master's at the University of Turku in drug discovery and development. And then I was, well, I can say that I was pretty lucky, even though that it was a kind of new field that I have to learn it from the scratch. But I am still doing on the field that I love, which is research and development. So it's.
I think maybe for Giancarlo and Saima, I don't know about Shujun, that you probably also already had career experiences way before you came to Finland. And I think also sometimes it can be a little discouraging that when you're coming to a new country, you have to start from scratch. So what kept you motivated to, other than I have to stay here and survival, just things that you've maybe said to you in low times when you were feeling a little bit demotivated and trying to look for a job or position? Do you have any tips?
Well, actually, it's much more like I think that all of us, we have like some kind of goals, and the goals that that sort of we know that we can achieve, and also that we deserve. And you try to, I guess that if you put effort enough and also doing the right connections. At least in my experience, when I finished the masters, or when I was very close to finish the masters, I was actually not so eager to go to the pathway of the PhD, because I already had the taste of working in industry, and then after saw how much hard work it was the PhD. I said no. And then I got a job, and then I was tempted by the dark side in order to do the PhD, and I am now struggling doing both things.
Wow, okay. Saima, did you feel at any point kind of demotivated that you had to, in a way, restart your career?
Yes, I felt demotivated for quite some time, and because especially everybody's journey is so different.
Yes.
I moved here with my my husband and my kid, and my husband had a job here, and for a long time I was like, okay, there's something wrong with me, or so there was that mindset. But then you need to analyze that, okay, do I need to upgrade my skill set? That's why I decided to do my master's in service design, because this was an emerging field, and it's very valued here in Finland. So you need to analyze, okay, what your priorities are. Again, like it's just said that what your goals are, and that's what really gonna affect your decision about it.
Shujun, did you have a kind of career before you came here, or no? Because you because you did So you both did your bachelor's here, and you pretty much started your careers in Finland. So how did you navigate that as someone who's new to getting a job or in the job industry? What did you find was helpful? Any services that you found was helpful, or other than looking for mentors and more experiences? Like anything specific to Finland that you can think of that would be helpful to someone looking for a job?
I'm not really know about that answer.
It's all right. Filipe, maybe?
Well, like I previously mentioned, there's opportunities in the startup journey, that opportunities, at least in my field, all around Turku, there's, for example, Arajoki Overflow, which is a very nice event where it kind of happens every month. You can go, and there's a lot of services and this kind of events in which you can always communicate with people and find someone that will give you an opportunity to work.
But you also did an internship in Rockdial, right?
Yes, I did.
And that was after you did the startup company.
Correct.
Okay, so throughout that whole journey, what made you finally feel kind of confident enough to apply for an internship at Rockdial? Or did you just, how was that process? Did you go through a normal applying to hundreds of companies, or did you know someone at Rockdial?
So I've met the owner of Rockdial, which is Joni, in one of the game jams, actually, an event that happened here. So again, communication is important. And I noticed that he has an internship for his company.
Okay.
And what gave me motivation, what gave me the expertise, it was that whole year of focusing on a project and having the confidence to finally say, I can do this.
This is what I can do.
This is what I can do.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for Joni, which gave me an opportunity.
Okay.
And the rest is history.
All right. So there you have it, folks. Trying to get a lot of more experiences, maybe even volunteering a little bit for a little time. I know that's not an ideal and obviously not sustainable situation, but sometimes you just have to swallow and do it, which is also a way to get your foot into the door. But one quick back to language. Do you have any advice for people trying to learn Finnish? I know I don't have any advice. I'm still struggling on that part. No advice.
Well, at least from, I'm not sure if this is politically correct to say. But the thing it is like, at least from my part, the ex-girlfriend that I had helped me a lot to learn the language. Yeah, I think that she was the best teacher that I ever had, especially when she was mad.
Okay.
It doesn't work in my case. My boyfriend also can speak fluent Finnish, but every time I talk with him with some little bit Finnish, he just fell sleepy.
Oh. Maybe, Saima, does your child speak Finnish?
Yes, my kids speak Finnish, but they don't speak Finnish at home. But I found out that don't shy away from speaking Finnish in daily life situations, because I thought I didn't know any Finnish, but when I started working in Espon Kaupunki, I found out that that I do know.
You picked up something.
So just try that.
Cool.
Just try it.
Filipe?
I do have one advice. If you're trying to learn Finnish, do not start with grammar. You will give up on the first week. Do not make the same mistake as I did. Start by listening. Read, listen as much as you can. It will eventually come. And then start studying some grammar to maintain that fluidity. Again, I'm not an expert in Finnish. I'm not the best. But if I were to give that advice is listen to Finnish. Listen to Finnish, read Finnish, watch podcasts, but do not study grammar at first, because you will give up. There is so much.
So basically,
go slowly.
Gather a vocabulary first before you start trying to make any sentences.
Pretty much.
So, good one. All right, let's get into the kind of final session, which is just a little game. You have the cards with you, which has yes, I agree, and no, I disagree. I just have a few questions, and then you can hold up. And the audience, you can also play too. You can raise your hands if you agree, or just like give a thumbs down if you disagree. So my first question or statement is, it took a while for me to find my people in Turku. I know I did. Did it take you a while to find your people? I think I found a few. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. No. Okay. All right. So you were very active in the societies. Yeah, I'm a homebody. I don't like to go out. So it did take me a while. Number 2, I think I know the answer for Giancarlo. I love being in a sauna. Not exactly sure. Yes. Yes. All right. Everybody loves the sauna? Great. How about ice swimming? I love ice swimming. I haven't tried. My supervisors have been trying to convince me to do ice swimming. No. Yes. All right. You're basically a local?
You need to try it. Believe me. After doing ice swimming, you have like that shock of adrenaline that you can even fight a bear.
Yeah, that's called survival. But all right, the third one. I knew about Finnish culture before I came here. I had no idea, honestly. Yes, no. Yes and no. Maybe you did a little research when you wanted to come here. Or?
Well, my biggest research about how Finland it was from the Dudsons.
Okay.
So it was not quite accurate. No.
All right, cool. Right, really quick, and the final one is I still find it, well, hard to learn Finnish. Cool. No, yes. Yes and no. All right. Well, that wraps up our panel today. Thank you so much to our esteemed alumni. I hope our discussion has been insightful for the audience, and hopefully you'll stay here for our next networking session after this. And next we have our closing. But first of all, let's give a big round of applause to our alumni.